Welcome to the Harworth Brass Podcast. With your host, Pete.
Hello and welcome to the Harworth Brass Podcast, where we share the stories behind the music, from the players on the stage to the people who keep the band running. I'm your host, Pete, and today we're joined by someone who hits the highest notes in the band room, literally. Our guest is Darren Rogers, the Soprano Cornet player, as well as Vice Chairman of the band and one of our safeguarding officers. We'll explore the thrills and challenges of playing that sparkling soprano line, the responsibilities that come with helping leading the committee, and the vital work of keeping every member safe and supported. So settle in, we've got music, memories and more than a few laughs ahead in high notes and higher duties. So welcome, Darren.
Thank you.
So we already know your name. We already know what the roles that you've got in the band and stuff. So how long have you been with Harworth Brass?
Now then.
Putting you on the spot there.
Trying to remember that far back, it's certainly been a long time. I would probably say 12, 15 years, something along those lines.
Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah, even I can't remember when you started. So yeah, I know it's been a very long time. So what drew you to brass banding, and why the Soprano Cornet in particular?
So brass banding came a little bit later in sort of my music career, to say the least. So when I was in primary school, every student had to learn an instrument. It was some sort of big thing from Doncaster Music Service. I can't remember what it was called. But basically 3-4 of the music teachers from the music centre came with giant bags of mouthpieces and everybody had to try one. For me, that was trumpet. So from year 6 going right the way through to the end of year 13, I was a trumpet player. Jazz and ensembles with my school, Eglinton School, as well as the music service itself, going right the way through to Lamoyden, playing there. It wasn't until I left school and joined the head of music's brass band that she had that I actually picked up a cornet. And then I played cornet there for 2 years. And our soprano player at that point went off to university, and Pat, who was the MD, quite literally put it in my lap and said, there you go, you've got 2 weeks to learn it. So that was my first sort of foray into soprano. It was never a decision or a choice. It was thrust upon me. But in reality, I would never go back. No. I would never now sort of regret the decision or the thrust to go on to soprano.
Definitely. Okay, so how would you describe the soprano cornet's role in the band sound, especially compared to the solo cornet line?
Yeah, I suppose the soprano itself is very much, as you mentioned in your introduction, it is the high notes. It's the icing on the cake, or it's the cherry on top. Your solo cornet is the engine room. That is what powers the band. That is where your principal melody comes from. The soprano is very much the bit that sits on top of that, has the descants or the little glittery bits that kind of just move it from a static standard piece of music to something bigger and better.
Oh, absolutely. Do you remember your first rehearsal on soprano? How did it feel to sit in that chair for the first time? Do you remember?
I remember for quite a while it took me ages to learn the difference between a B flat note and an E flat note. I'm still struggling. That sounds very bizarre, but when you're used to pitching a C and now all of a sudden a C is a G, it took quite a bit of getting used to.
Yeah.
But again, like I mentioned in the introduction, it would never be something that I want to go back from. It's daunting because there's only one.
Oh, yeah,
and that's the daunting part about soprano. There is no fallback. There isn't somebody sat at the side of you there. You can take a small break and they can pick up the slack. You are you and you're on your own.
That's the thing about the soprano, you're your own section.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Section of one.
Section of one. Okay. What's the most challenging aspect of playing the soprano at concerts, or in sometimes yours, because you play in another band for your contests. Mm-hmm. So what's the most challenging aspect of playing soprano in either concerts or contests for you?
I guess it kind of links back to the first point, the fact that you're on your own, and in an E-flat instrument, there's two instruments that really do stand apart in the band, and we kind of ironically sit opposite ends to each other, and that's the soprano and the bass trombone. And you can hear those instruments anywhere when we're playing because we have a very distinctive sound, and that really is the challenging part about soprano. If you make a mistake, everyone knows you've made a mistake. It really does stand out, which unfortunately, or fortunately, means you have to put a little bit more practice in just to make sure that the chances of standing out horrifically don't happen as much.
I mean, as people, I've said on the previous episodes, people learn a bit about me on these podcasts as well, but I used to play bass trombone, so I know that it can be, like you've just said, it stands out if you get it wrong.
Absolutely.
And everything, so you do have to put, like you say, a little bit of extra work in to make sure that you do your best not to make those mistakes.
Absolutely, agreed.
Is there a particular piece or moment on stage that's made you think, this is why I love playing soprano?
I'd probably say more of the Christmassy type music, and that is probably because that's where the soprano really does come into its own. Because again, you think of your standard caroling jobs, etc. There are a lot of descants that have been written for soprano, and being a soprano, you really do have to be a little bit big-headed, and you really do have to go for it. Yeah. So when you get those descants and you get in those bits that really are designed to showcase the soprano, you've got to go for them. Yeah. And there are a hell of a lot when it starts coming to your Christmas music.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we're coming into those soon as well in the rehearsals, aren't we? So here's a good one for you. So how do you keep your chops in shape for those high notes and those exposed entries?
Good question. Lots of lip balm. As weird as it sounds, there's nothing worse than getting chapped lips. So keeping your lips
I play solo trombone,
good.
and sometimes I think to myself at the end of the rehearsals, oh, my lip actually hurts and stuff. And then I look over to you and think, you're playing right up there. How do you keep your lips going for a full 2-hour rehearsal?
I suppose the difference is on top you're only using a very small part of your lip, whereas with the trombone mouthpiece or those of the larger instruments, you're using a lot more of your lip. Yeah. For myself, I can adjust the mouthpiece slightly, which probably just gives you a couple more notes or a couple a little bit more stability.
Yeah, I'm not sure I could get a note out of a soprano.
To be fair, mate, I don't think I'd get a note out of a trombone. So.
Well, there we go. So who were your musical influences or mentors when you were learning to play? Who inspired you?
I suppose the one person from a soprano, even when I was at school playing trumpet, I still had sort of input from a soprano player who was Andrew Fake or Andrew Forrester. Yeah. And we met Andrew a year ago when we did a recording at Blythe. Yes. Andrew was hosting that. I've not seen him for a very long time, but he was my head of year when I was at school.
He was a nice bloke, I remember him.
And he's an exceptional soprano player. So, there were many times at school when, study breaks, etc., in the music area doing A-level music, which I did, and Andrew was in his office practicing some of the absolutely exceptional music that he was playing for Kipax at the time.
I remember him taking the mickey out of the recording.
Oh, he does. He generally always has done, so it's fine.
But he says, I'll be listening to you when you're playing this. I think it was Stargate SG1 we were playing, because it had some good notes in it.
There was absolutely no pressure whatsoever for Andrew sat right at the side of me as he was during that at the same time.
It was fun though. That was a good day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what's your warm-up routine before like a big concert, or obviously until you do contests as well? So, do you have any warm-up routine?
Generally, long notes. Really just getting the lips buzzing. I do that for probably a good 3-4 minutes, then move into the medium register and then into the upper register. Naturally, upper register just needs a little bit more practice. For me, it's sitting in front of a tuner and making sure that actually when I am going up into the upper register that I can hear that the note is in tune. Again, to the earlier point, whether it's sharp or flat, and it does stand out. So sitting in front of that tuner when I'm warming up, just to make sure that is exactly what that note should sound like.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you had any memorable or even scary top note moments during a performance?
So is that a memorable one when I played in a band a long time ago, Markham? There was an MD there called Brian, and a lovely guy, and we were going through an entire programme, And at the very last piece of the second half, the sop went into the stratosphere. It went really, really high. And in the rehearsal before that gig, he said, you know, if you get that note on stage, I will give you a tenner.
Did you?
And I did. And literally, just as he had finished holding on the note and took the band off, the band erupted in applause because they knew he was giving me a tenner at the same time. Which Brian then had to, just so everybody knows what's going off. This isn't everybody excited that the gig's finished. Let me tell you what's happened. And then on stage again, he gave me that tenner, which was brilliant.
The fun things we do sometimes in brass bands, isn't it? Really. Obviously, this is the next question. It's kind of like everybody in the band does something. They all work and everything. How do you balance banding with work, family, and any other commitments that you have? Because I know you play with Harworth as your primary band.
Absolutely.
But you also play with another band as well, where you help out do their concerts as well as the contest. So you put more work in probably than some other people. So how do you balance it all?
It can be a challenge at times because, again, I spend a lot of time on the road with work. So live in Doncaster, work in Leeds, so it's an hour's drive into work, do a full day at work, hour's drive back home, probably shovel a very quick sandwich down my throat and then straight to a band rehearsal. It's all about setting sort of clear boundaries as to what happens where and when. I'm a planning manager by trade, so planning for me comes quite easy and quite naturally.
Yeah.
But it is very much Monday, do work, come home, then I'm doing an hour's practice. Tuesday, it's a rehearsal. Wednesday, that's going to see the family. Thursday, it's a rehearsal with Harworth. Friday, that's chill out day. Saturday again, and Sunday, do all the family stuff, and then 30 minutes or so practice in the evening as well.
And integrate any concerts that might be up on those weekends as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Which we know is, for us, we're coming into that season, aren't we?
Oh, absolutely. And it can certainly be a balancing act.
Big Christmas lot coming up, so that should be fun.
Luckily, playing as long as I have, my family are quite supportive of the fact that I can't do this at the minute because I've got a gig or because I've got a rehearsal.
That's good though, isn't it? You've got an understanding family.
Absolutely.
And they know that it's your passion as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which makes it all more special.
Definitely.
So, what's the best thing about sitting on that soprano seat for you personally then? With Harworth or with Thurcroft, of course, when you play with them as well?
I don't actually know. That's a really interesting question. I like the fact that it's on its own.
Do you like the fact it's your own section?
Yeah, I like.
You are accountable for yourself.
Yeah, if it goes well, it's me. If it goes bad, it's me. There is nothing else that anybody can influence. I'm exceptionally lucky that both bands that I play with have got really, really good MDs. Claire is an exceptionally supportive MD in that whenever you're playing anything, especially at a concert or a gig or anything, she gives you the smiles or the occasional winks or the occasional anything, that just those little bits of support when you're playing something, especially when you know I've practiced the hell out of this but it's still a tiny bit rocky, but then to play it and to play it well and then to get that sort of reinforcement from Claire and from Matthew as well is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, no, definitely. Couple of brassy bandy questions here. Do you have a favourite march, hymn tune or test piece to perform on top?
My favourite march ever is Sladeburn.
Good piece.
And that's principally because it's really very minor. I mean, it is a minor key, and I'm quite interested in that. I really like pieces of music that are in a minor key. But yeah, Sladeburn is absolutely my favourite march. What was the second one?
Hymn tune and then the test piece.
Hymn tune would be Eventide.
Oh, lovely piece.
It's one of those pieces that just goes down everywhere, especially as you as our assistant MD have got the job of conducting an arrangement of Eventide, which is even better.
Which is beautiful as well.
So again, that just adds to the awesomeness of Eventide being that brilliant hymn. Test piece would probably, I've only ever done testing and contesting once, so that'd be I Daedalus, which was last year's test piece with Thurcroft.
Oh, there you go. Which section do you think then has the toughest job in the band, apart from you?
Well, that's just rude, because I was obviously going to say me. I would probably say out of the entire band, I'm going to split it into two, because I can't quite split between the two, and I would say flugelhorn.
Yeah, again, kind of
and bass
part
trombone.
of the horns, but on her own.
And bass trombone, part of the
Part
trombones.
of the trombones, but again on their own.
On their own. And it's principally because of that, because they are, again, like myself, standalone instruments within the band, very, very exposed. Flugelhorn generally kind of never gets 2 minutes sort of peace and quiet, because if they're not supporting and accompanying what's going on with the cornet section, they're bridging the gap then with what's going on with the horns as well. And such an awesome instrument, they're generally getting a lot of solo bits themselves as well. And probably again exactly the same from a bass trombone, supporting the trombone, supporting the bass section, and really giving some of that welly at the bottom end.
Oh, definitely. I'm going to put you on the spot now on this one. If you could duet on stage with any famous soprano cornet player or any other instrument really, past or present, who would it be?
You know, I'll be sentimental and I'll say Andrew. We've never actually played together or done any sort of musical performance together. He conducted the jazz band when I was at school, and I've been to performances and listened to him play, but we've never actually played anything together. So yeah, I think for sentimentality and for, you know, a blast
and
from the
you've known him
past,
for a long time as well.
I think it'd be awesome, for
well,
a duet with
maybe that's something we can maybe ask him at some point and
absolutely
come in and do a duet on one of our concerts.
Sounds good.
We'll make it come true for you then. Couple of fun questions now for you, mate. So, who in the band is most likely to forget their mute or music?
Oh, that's dead easy. The sidekick that sits at the side of me, and that would be my good friend Tracy, playing on rep. Yeah. I'm sure she will not mind me saying at all that she generally lives in a little whirlwind of her own making 9 times out of 10. Absolutely awesome rep player, plays really, really well, but generally does forget her own hair sometimes, bless her.
Oh, bless her. All right then, so if your soprano could talk, what do you think it would say about you?
Please get me someone who can play me.
I don't think it would say that. You're a very good player.
Nah, but I think I'm all right. I would never give myself the thing of being good, but I think I'm all right.
Yeah. Here's one for you. What's your go-to comfort snack after a long rehearsal or concert?
Ooh, snack. That would be cheesy Doritos with a can of the hot salsa sauce. Ooh. And just sit on the sofa and munching away.
Just go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got to be after the rehearsal, otherwise, if you have that before, you're peppering somebody and, Lynn's hair will be full of Doritos.
I could just do that. I've just had an image, so that's not good. Okay, last one, which will then finish off part one. If you could describe the soprano cornet in 3 words, what would it be?
Absolutely freaking awesome.
Love it. Good answer. Brilliant answer. And on that note, we're going to leave our listeners. Please join us again in a few for part 2. That was a fascinating look at the life in the hot seat on soprano. So now we're back for part 2. So let's shift gears, talk about the other hats you wear off the stage as vice chairman and safeguarding officer. So, how did you first step into the role of vice chairman? Were you persuaded or did you volunteer?
Persuaded, I think, is the easiest answer for that. So, my predecessor Joe left the band and obviously wrote into the committee as you do to officially relinquish his position. And then literally within 3 minutes of that committee meeting, it was like firsted, seconded, Darren's vice chair before I'd even sort of dealt with the fact that Joe was leaving or had a sip of my drink. So yeah, I think persuaded is very much it.
Ah, there you go. So what does being vice chair actually involve?
To be fair, it sounds a very flashy title, etc. But in reality, I am just a bog standard member of the committee. The only exception is if Lynn, who is our chairperson, if she's ever absent or on holiday, etc., then I step into her shoes. And I can honestly say those are very big shoes to fill. But generally speaking, from a vice chair point of view, I'm just your run-of-the-mill committee member.
Yeah, she does do a very good job of being the chairperson of our committee.
Good job.
So, and I'm sure we'll come to that at some point. I know
Indeed.
that she's interested in doing one of these episodes, so that'll be good. So how do you and the rest of the committee keep things running smoothly behind the scenes? Because a lot of people, obviously we come to rehearsals every Thursday, but a lot of people don't know what goes behind the scenes, what we do.
Yeah, I mean, we have a committee meeting once a month where we all get together face to face to discuss anything. We have a general standard agenda, but then naturally, as with most things, there'll be things that crop up throughout which we'll review, discuss. Those generally are about 2.5 hours, which sounds daunting, but actually we get a hell of a lot out of those meetings.
It does help that we normally, we're in the pub. So.
Yeah, that's certainly helpful, absolutely. But I do think as well the fact that they're not a 2-second job really does lean into the fact that we're all very dedicated and very behind Harworth Brass and passionate about making sure that we're doing a brilliant job.
Yeah. So what's the most rewarding part of helping lead the Harworth Brass?
I think with that it's about everything around brass, and if you think about brass bands right back to their inception, they're all about community. And that's never changed. A lot has changed in the world since their inception, or since Harworth Brass's inception, 105 years ago. But the one thing that probably hasn't changed is the community and making sure that we're giving back to the community, and more prevalent in the modern world around keeping brass banding alive.
Okay. And have you had any tough challenges that you've had to face in that leadership role?
I think most of the challenges I face are probably more linked to the safeguarding and well-being side of things. The complexities that lead into those roles, the training that's needed, and the legal obligations that sit behind them.
So we'll go into that then. So as a safeguarding officer, what does that responsibility mean in practice for a brass band?
I mean, it is one of those roles where it's exactly what it says on the tin. It is very much about safeguarding. It's about making sure that everyone is treated fairly, that nobody is felt to be treated any different for whatever reason. If somebody has a concern about whatever it may be, they have somewhere or someone that they can go to and speak to about that. Primarily, its key focus is around young people and those in vulnerable positions, but that does not mean that it's limited to those groups. It is very much
open to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a light in the dark for anyone that's struggling or just wants someone to talk to.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? We don't know what other people are going through.
Exactly.
Behind closed doors, should we say?
Indeed.
So it's nice that they've got. It's you and Lynn.
Exactly, yeah, we do that.
It's nice that they've got that opportunity and they know there's those two people there to talk to if they need to.
Yeah, and that's very much linked to the first part of safeguarding, that's keeping people safe.
Yeah. The
second part, the guarding, we hope we never ever need to do, or we never need to be in the position of doing, but that's if somebody has been in a position that they don't want to be or shouldn't ever be in, around linking in with local authorities, linking in with police, and making sure that, again, that person is guarded and protected.
Yeah. So how do you make sure that rehearsals, concerts and events remain safe and welcoming for everybody? I mean, again, especially for the young and vulnerable members.
So that generally involves myself or Lynn doing health and safety sort of walk-arounds before we get there, just to make sure that we know where fire exits are, we know that there's not going to be a planned evacuation, we know that there's toilets here, we know there's a disabled entrance there are ramps available for those that aren't sort of in wheelchairs or wherever it may be.
Just making sure that you're prepared before we've even got there.
Exactly. Myself and Lynn probably put in before each concert probably a good hour, 2 hours before anybody even gets there, just making sure that from a safeguarding point of view we're covered and we're supported.
Cool. Have there been any memorable moments when you felt proud of how the band pulled together to support a member or the community?
I think within Harworth, the one that sort of springs to mind mainly around Christmas would be the support that we get to Clark's Butchers.
Yeah.
The band do a hell of a lot, especially around Christmas, where we stand outside the shop. We raise money, and that brings people into that business and supports that business itself. And to be fair, Clark's Butchers as well support us. So when we're doing concerts, they have posters in their window and they'll sell tickets for us as well. So it's very much a two-way street there as well.
They do good meat. So
absolutely. If you need a butcher's, there you go.
There you go. How do you balance these responsibilities then that you've got? Safeguarding officer, vice chair, being part of the committee. How do you balance those responsibilities with still being a player?
Yes, so the playing generally does come first. So we tend to not do committee business or safeguarding business during rehearsals or concerts. That's outside of what the role is designed to do. I'm very lucky that Lynn, as chair, is also the safeguarding person as well. So we generally, outside of our standard committee meetings, we have a lunch once a month where we will sit down together and look through, are we comfortable this is doing right, are we comfortable that's right, and again we catch up a lot outside of committee meetings and band in the BAU.
And you get a lunch out of it.
And we get a lunch out of it as well.
What advice would you give to someone stepping into a committee or safeguarding role then for the first time? I'm presuming it could be quite daunting.
Yeah, again, a lot of people kind of think committees and what have you are this sort of secret society or up on a pedestal, and in reality we're not. We are human beings. We are people that still play in the band. We just meet up on extra extra rehearsals. We have extra meetings within the month where we just discuss how we can do more, do better to maximise on what we're doing. Anybody that has got that mentality of wanting a band to do better, they almost are in the mindset of what a committee member is anyway. So they're not this kind of secret society where you have a secret handshake or a secret knock. They're band members that are wanting to do the best for a band.
There you go. So looking ahead, what are your hopes for the band's future, musically and as a community organisation?
From a band, any band is to keep going. That's fundamentally the principal hope that I have for both bands that I play in and any brass band out there.
Yeah, I mean, you've had lots of bands out there that we both know of, unfortunately folded for one reason or another. And we're very lucky at Harworth where we've been going 105 years and
I'm frantically touching wood as we say that as well.
And we're still going strong now as well, which I think in the previous episode with Claire, we actually we mentioned that the band nearly folded back in the early 2000s, and it was our junior band that kept the band going. So we've been very lucky as a brass band as well.
Exactly. And then from a musical point of view, we've been very, very lucky to have a concert with Richard Marshall.
What a player.
What a player. What a man.
Oh yeah, brilliant.
I would absolutely love for Harworth to do that, either again with Richard or other exceptional players in the Premier League of brass banding to really get our name out there as well.
Yeah, there's plenty out there that we could probably approach.
Indeed.
As well. So maybe that's something we can look at as a committee as well.
Alright folks, confession time. Our brass band is currently held together by sticky valve oil, borrowed music stands from the 90s, and a mute that's been glued back together twice. If you've ever thought, wow, these legends deserve a music stand that isn't held up by an old trombone slide, this is your moment to shine.
Exactly! You can be the unsung hero of the bandroom. How? By popping over to our website and buying us a coffee. Your support keeps us caffeinated enough to survive marathon rehearsals and helps us upgrade to things like actual sturdy stands, maybe even a microphone that doesn't double as a spare lyre clip.
And the best bit, if you donate, you can send us audio clips. We'll play them right here on the podcast. Whether it's you cheering us on, roasting our dodgy tuning, or sending in the world's most dramatic cornet cadenza, we'll take it all. Tasteful vibrato encouraged.
Not a talker? No problem. You can still leave us a comment or review. It helps spread the word and gives us that warm, fuzzy feeling you usually only get after nailing a top C on the first try.
So, Support the band, support the podcast, and help us level up from ragtag rehearsal chaos to concert-ready chaos. The link's in the show notes. Buy us a coffee, send in your clips, and let's keep the music rolling. Preferably on a trolley that isn't held together with gaffer tape.
If money was no object, what's the first improvement you'd make for the band or rehearsal space?
A dedicated bandroom.
Do you know
Dedicated.
That was just going through my head as well.
Yeah.
We used to have one, didn't we? So.
Indeed, and you know, we're very lucky, and again, it is worth noting, we are very, very lucky that we rehearse in the town hall, and we have a space for all of our percussion equipment. You know, we're not paying rentals or anything like that. We're very, very lucky in that position. But if money was no object, a dedicated room, dedicated acoustics, you know, all of that wonderful space that is physically designed for music.
Yeah, like turning really up to the rehearsal and the chairs and the percussion, everything. It's all set up already.
All set up.
You just literally have to go to your chair, get your instrument out, sit down and put your music on the stand.
Absolutely. And in an ideal world, the music could be there too.
In an ideal world, definitely, mate. What event on the calendar do you most look forward to each year?
They change each year, but there's kind of variations on a theme, and that's where we play in sort of the old houses or the old estates. And we're lucky we get to play in, probably 2 or 3 per year.
Yeah.
Broadsworth Hall was one that we've recently done.
Yeah, nice venue.
A brilliant, lovely venue. A very dedicated audience as well. The audiences at those events, you know, rain, shine, anything, they're sat there in their cuckolds with their umbrellas if need be, and you know, blazing sunshine. They're there slapping on the Facts 50. They're always there.
Absolutely, and we've just, if I'm not mistaken, we've just actually booked Norway Hall for next year.
We have indeed.
So another, it's quite a trek to get to, but the venue is gorgeous.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and again, same as Broadsworth, we get a good audience there.
Yeah, and that's part of the draw in for those, because not only is it a brilliant venue, but you've got a really strong audience presence as well.
Absolutely. Which section in the band would you like to swap places with for one night, just for fun?
Ooh.
You've got quite a few sections.
There is quite a lot of sections to choose from, but I'd probably say percussion, just because it's completely different.
It is. We hinted on this on the last episode with Claire, and the fact that we have 3 percussionists, and I asked her how many instruments do they have, and she counted just 12 off just there. And I was like, well, that's one person to 4 instruments. Yeah. Where, you know, you have just your cornet, your stop.
Yep.
I just have my trombone.
Exactly.
You know, they have an awful lot.
Yeah, and it's just the fact that it is so completely different. It's not. I think again you alluded to this before. You can't just sit and follow a piece of music, because not only are you reading the first phrase and playing it on one piece of percussion, you've then got to move 4 meters further down the line, pick up a different piece, and then find where you are on the music, and then hit that straight on the mark.
And then go back.
And then go back again, yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's only for a day and just for fun, I would be horrendous. I have no hand-eye coordination whatsoever, so the kit's definitely out. But it'd still be fun.
Well, maybe we could talk to Claire and just do it for a piece or something. Just try it out. Sounds like fun. Who's most likely to crack a joke in the middle of a serious committee meeting?
Oh, that's definitely me. It is generally
I would
me.
probably say it's you or Matt.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, me or Matt would definitely share the baton on
I'd probably be about maybe 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, for all the seriousness of things that we go through, you know, life's for living, and you know what, you've always got to find something to laugh about or to joke about. You can't get too serious.
No, absolutely. You've got to. So I mean, sometimes these committee meetings can take a serious note, and you kind of need someone to kind of
place
to crack out a joke, just to ease the tension and stuff and break the ice. So.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we are coming to a couple more questions. If you could pick a theme tune to play every time you walked into the band room, what would it be? I know that's quite a tough one.
Oh, the Imperial March.
Yeah.
Just for its majesty.
I just had a thought in my head for me, and just because I'm a big Rocky fan, Gonna Fly Now.
Well, it was either going to be Imperial March because that's my serious hat on.
Yes.
Or if I'm putting my jokey kind of juvenile hat on, it's the Muppet Show.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Maybe we'll try it one day. That'd be great.
I think the Imperial March to walk in and the Muppet Show to walk out. There we go.
Why not? Why not? Tea break essentials. Obviously, we have a tea break in the middle of rehearsals. Are you a biscuit dunker, or do you have a no dunk rule?
No dunk rule.
No dunk rule?
No dunk rule. The only essential in any interval is black coffee.
Black coffee. So no dunking of any biscuits whatsoever.
No, it would get me sop and it would ruin it, and no biscuits.
Oh, we want that. Won't want it coming out of your stop it.
No, exactly.
On Lynn's hair. So, okay. So last one. If you could invite one famous brass band personality to a Harworth Brass rehearsal, who would it be and why? And it could be, like you say, any famous brass band personality. They could be dead or alive.
I think it would be someone that's dead, which would be awkward because they're dead. But Glenn Miller.
Ooh.
A good one for you because he was a trombone player.
Yeah, I mean, we've got... we've actually got an arrangement.
Miller Magic.
Miller Magic, haven't we?
Exactly.
So we probably should get that out.
But yeah, Glenn Miller, just for the phenomenal player, phenomenal arranger, and just, Glenn Miller. What more can I say? Glenn Miller. I don't need to say any more, sure.
No, all the listeners know who Glenn Miller is, so that's absolutely fine. So, Darren, this is probably the final question before we finish now then. How do you keep the fun and stuff, particularly on your section? Because obviously we know there's quite a few on that back row.
There is, yes. So fun is obviously at the heart of playing in a brass band. It's got to be fun to do, and we're very lucky at Harworth as well that we have two traditions, shall we say. So the first is we have our own little WhatsApp group called Back Row Bandits.
Good name.
Where again that is very much about sharing best practice, really doing a lot of the encouragement, especially on the second and third seats on the back row cornets, because there's a lot of nervousness sometimes there. So really just giving them that encouragement to, you've smashed that rehearsal today, or that gig was absolutely really, really good. Well done. And in that little space as well where it's not in front of anybody else, so they've got that little comfort blanket as it were. We also have a tradition before any gig that we do where we do a back row selfie.
Yeah.
Every single gig, without fail, because when we don't do it, things go horrendously wrong. So it's now ingrained that before any gig, we have to do a back row selfie.
You have to.
Have to do it. Yeah, it's ingrained. If we don't do a back row selfie, we're worrying throughout the entire gig. To the point where we have stopped Claire just before a start of a gig to say, hang on a minute, we've got to do his back row selfie. Luckily, she found the funny side. But yes, it's very ingrained now. Very much a superstition, yeah, absolutely, but it works.
Fantastic. So anyway, Darren, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us, from soaring soprano solo to the important work you do as Vice Chairman and Safeguarding Officer. It's inspiring to hear how much dedication goes into keeping the band sounding great and staying safe for everyone. Thank you to all our listeners for joining us on this episode of the Harworth Brass Podcast, High Notes and High Duties. If you've enjoyed the conversation, don't forget to follow the podcast, share it with your banding friends, and stay tuned for more stories from the heart of Harworth Brass. Until next time, keep practicing, keep supporting your local band, and keep the music alive. Join us again in December for episode 3.